Okay, if you're a cat owner, you know this feeling. That sinking feeling in your stomach when you find a mess somewhere it really shouldn't be. It's not just about having to clean it up, right? It's that immediate worrying question, why? What on earth is going on?
And look, this isn't just a small annoyance. The stakes are actually really, really high. In fact, house soiling is one of the top reasons cats are given up to shelters. So if this is happening in your house, I want you to know you are so not alone, and getting to the bottom of this is one of the kindest things you can do for your pet. So this is where we have to completely flip the script. What if we stop looking at this as your cat just being bad? What if we start thinking of ourselves as detectives? Your cat isn't misbehaving. It's communicating. It's leaving clues. And our job? It's to figure out what the heck they mean.
All right, so the very first rule of this investigation, we have to get one huge misconception out of the way right off the bat. Your cat is not doing this to get back at you for coming home late or for going out of town last weekend. Yep, that's right. Vets are all on the same page here. House soiling is not an act of revenge. It's a distress signal. It's your cat basically screaming that something is wrong, whether it's medical, something in their environment, or a social problem. They're not being naughty. They are asking for help. Okay, so if your cat is sending out a distress signal, how in the world do we decode it? Well, feline experts have kind of boiled it down to four main categories of causes. Let's think of these as the four main leads in our case. This really helps cut through the confusion, right? First up, you've got straight-up medical issues, things like arthritis, making it painful to get into the box. Then there's something called FIC, which is a really painful bladder issue that often flares up with stress. Our third lead is marking behavior. That's pure communication, like spraying a new piece of furniture to claim it. And finally, you've got environmental or social factors, which can be anything from hating the litter you bought to feeling bullied by another cat near the box. All right, so we've got our first few clues, but for any serious mystery, you gotta bring in the expert, the lead detective. And for this particular mystery, the lead detective is always your vet. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I really want to be crystal clear here. You absolutely cannot solve this problem without a vet. So many of these causes involve real pain, and they can get very serious very fast. Trying to fix this on your own without a diagnosis, well, it's like mopping up a puddle on the floor without fixing the leaky pipe. You're just treating the symptom, not the actual problem. And the good news is, the process itself is pretty simple. First, you just schedule the visit. Then you'll describe everything you've been seeing at home. From there, your vet's probably going to do a physical exam and run a urinalysis. And that's it. That's how you find out if you're dealing with something medical or if it's time to put on your detective hat and look at the environment. It's truly the only way to get real answers. Okay, so let's say medical issues are either ruled out or you're managing them with your vet. Now the investigation moves to the scene of the crime, your home. This is where your focus has to shift to creating a stress-free, super cat-friendly space. And this is where you can make a massive difference. And it all starts with the litter box. Seriously. According to the experts, getting the litter box set up just right is the foundation for solving pretty much all cases of house soiling. You gotta start asking yourself the right questions. Is it big enough? Is it clean enough? Does my cat even like this litter? Is it in a quiet, safe spot? I know they sound like small details, but to a cat, this stuff is everything. Now, things can get way more complicated if you've got more than one cat, right? The golden rule is simple. One litter box per cat plus one extra. Just doing that one thing can prevent a whole lot of drama, like one cat guarding the box from another. Same goes for food and water bowls. And hey, don't forget to think three-dimensionally. Those cat trees and shelves, they're not just fancy furniture, they're escape routes and safe zones that can bring a cat's stress level way, way down. Okay, here is a final and absolutely critical pro tip. When you're cleaning up an accident, you have to use an enzymatic cleaner. Regular soap and water just won't cut it. Why? Because it doesn't break down the specific stuff in cat urine. So even if you can't smell it anymore, your cat sure can. And that scent acts like a giant glowing sign telling them, hey, this is a totally fine bathroom spot. An enzymatic cleaner completely destroys that sign, which helps break the whole cycle. So, when you boil it all down, this isn't really just about stopping a bad habit. It's about learning to speak a different language, your cat's language. By playing detective and really listening to what their behavior is telling you, you're not just solving a problem, you're building a much deeper, more trusting bond. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What else is your cat trying to tell you that you just haven't learned to hear yet?